Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's me, Mary, home where it's 1,022 degrees in the shade. It is day three of a heat wave in New York City. It is hot AF times 100 outside. I am going on day three. We are currently in a brownout situation with the electric company. So my air conditioners that usually have my apartment as cold as the freezer department in the supermarket are not pulling cold air or as cold air as they used to. So it's going on day three of this. My kitchen air conditioner is about to say, fuck you, lady, I'm done, and conk out altogether. And the one in my bedroom where I'm currently sitting is hanging on for dear life. Tomorrow, Thursday, is supposed to rain and it's supposed to cool down temperatures, but it's day three of a heat wave. My hair's a mess. I have a stain on my shirt from the Chinese food that I ate. But you know something? I don't give a shit. I am here today with you guys to bring to you my recap of TLC's Virgins. We are on season one, episode three. I did my first recap last week of episodes one and two. If you haven't seen that, check it out, please. The feedback that I got from a lot of you guys is you won't be watching the show, but you'll watch my recaps. I appreciate that. I don't think the show is so bad right now. It's only episode three. There's only one chick that gets on my nerves that I really think her whole storyline is scripted. Okay, and we'll get into that. But in general, I like these guys. I'm rooting for them, and let's hop right into it. So we're gonna start off with Alex, who is getting himself a new look. Okay, and as the saying goes, beauty is painful as fuck. Okay, so this poor dude got his back waxed. I'm sorry, not his back, his chest waxed. He was in so much pain. Okay, every time the lady ripped the strip off, he was like, I mean, people in the beauty shop were like staring into the room, like, what is going on in there? Some type of Chinese water torture or something. But he managed to make it through the chest waxing, decided to skip the back waxing. Okay, he got a haircut, the back of his neck trimmed, his beard, his mustache all trimmed up. So here we have before and after Alex. Now, he's not only doing this because he's going out on a date with Andrea, he's doing this for himself. Okay, he wants to have self-confidence, but the date with Andrea is a pretty big motivation, I would say, you guys. Okay, so he met Andrea at the tantric speed dating event last week, and she was one of his matches, so he was going to go out on a first date with her. So he got himself all spruced up, and they went to a go-karting place. Okay, and they had a lot of fun. It was a great first date. Andrea seems to be really into him. Here's her social media, by the way. She seems to like him. It seemed to be a really great first date, but he hasn't broached the subject of still living at home with his parents and being a virgin. So we shall see how Andrea reacts once Alex drops these bombs on her. Okay, so overall, it was a great first date, and she agreed to go out on a second one. Moving on, we have Deianne. More and more, I'm starting to feel like her storyline is scripted. Okay, she supposedly is an ambitious 35-year-old virgin with high standards. So basically, no man is good enough for her. Okay, Brad Pitt or Keanu Reeves or someone like that of that caliber would have to walk into the room for her to give them a second glance. Now, I'm watching her, and then in this particular episode, she was in the gym with her girlfriends. She was taking some of her stress out boxing. She was like, I can't find a man, and I am sick, sick, sick of it. Okay, girl, I think you need to let some of that aggression out in the bedroom. But she is meeting all these men. Okay, her matchmaker is setting her up on all these dates, and she's deciding that none of these guys are good enough for even a second date. Okay, and the initial attraction has to be there. If she's not initially attracted to you, that's it. Date's over. Even before you get your first drink, date's over. Appetizers, no way, because Deianne's not feeling you. If she doesn't have that initial spark, you might as well just get the check and leave and just chalk up your losses. So, like I said, she was boxing with her girlfriends. She posted it on Instagram, and I really don't believe this storyline. I think this is bullshit. Okay, but moving on, we have Somali. And now, Somali, she has numerous issues, not only physical, it turns out she has vagininus. I know I'm probably torturing the pronunciation, but she went to see a pelvic floor muscle specialist last week, and Dr. Heather Jeffcoat recommended dilators, okay, to get her physically ready down there to have sexual relations. And like I covered in my last video, dilators look like basically tampon applicators, and they come in different sizes and lengths and widths. And Somali looked horrified having to put one of those in her, but she managed. Okay, she managed to get the smallest one in, and Dr. Heather Jeffcoat recommended, okay, her sex therapist, Kimberly Resnick Anderson. And this is her website, okay, helping you achieve optimal sexual health. She even has a sexual quiz on her site, okay? So basically, Somali is sitting down with her, and she's explaining everything that goes with her not having sex at this point, with her being a 37-year-old virgin. First, she thought that you couldn't even have sex until you were married for the longest time because that was engraved in her. Okay. She thought that you physically, emotionally, legally, whatever the case may be, until you get married, you were not allowed to have sex. She didn't have her first kiss until she was 26. Only 6 men have kissed her. She has fallen in love with all 6 men. So then Resnick, um, Dr. Resnick Anderson starts asking her questions. Okay. Have you ever masturbated? And she instantly, Somali, turned into a schoolgirl, giggling and blushing. Okay. So Dr. Resnick Anderson says that's the first step to emotionally healing and figuring out what you need to do to prepare yourself to have sex is to explore your own body. Masturbate. Somali looks horrified. Okay. So Dr. Resnick Anderson pulls out the vulva puppet. Okay. And Somali looks like she wants to crawl underneath that sofa. So she shows her where the clitoris is, where the G spot is, and recommends that Somali goes home and gets to know her private parts, because that is the first step into opening the door into having a happy sex life and to be able to guide a man into what to do. Okay. So, another thing Dr. Resnick Anderson recommended to Somali, she thinks that maybe they should look into sex surrogacy. I was like, whoa. Because surrogacy, when I think of a surrogate, I think of a surrogate mother who is carrying a child for a couple who can't physically carry the child for whatever reason. Apparently, a sex therapist, also known as a surrogate partner, is a trained professional who works with individuals to address issues of intimacy and sexuality, often as a part of a broader therapeutic approach. They will collaborate with a licensed therapist to help clients develop self awareness, improve communication, and enhance comfort with physical and emotional intimacy. While some surrogate partner therapy involves physical contact, including sexual intimacy, this is always guided by the client's therapeutic goals and within the context of a safe and structured environment. This is what I find interesting. Distinction from prostitution. It's important to distinguish sex surrogacy from prostitution. Sex surrogates focus on therapeutic goals and work within a structured, time limited therapeutic relationship. The focus is on healing, skill development, and personal growth rather than solely on providing sexual services. Like I said, I have never heard of this before, but Somali's therapist thinks that this may be a good approach for her, for her to reach where she needs to be to have sex with a partner. So Somali is all down for the ride. She is on her IG. Check her out on the episodes. And I guess we shall see how far Somali gets on her sexual healing journey. Now we have Rasha. Rasha. She is a trip. Okay. I love her. She's a trip and she knows what she wants. Okay. So when we last saw her, she was with Zach and they were making candles and she explained to him that she was a virgin and he's okay with it. He's okay with it. He's like, hey, maybe I'll have the opportunity to teach you some new moves, whatever. They're joking about it. Vibes were good. They ended the date on a great note. But then Rasha lets us know that Zach is basically just like the rest of them. He has no respect and no consideration for her feelings, and she doesn't think she's going to be seeing him anymore. What happened, you may ask? Well, I'm going to tell you. So basically, she sent him a picture of her in her Halloween costume. She's Velma from Scooby Doo. And Zach was like, oh, it looks fun. She was like, yeah, it is fun. And then Rasha decided to set up a date for the two of them to the selfie showroom place where they have different backdrops and you could go and take selfies. She thought it would be kind of cool. Okay. Apparently, he didn't. So the night before they were going to go out on this selfie experience date, he was like, okay, good night. They're like touching back and forth. He's like, good night. I guess I'll see you tomorrow at that stupid selfie shit. And she got so offended. Rasha was like, wait a second. I took so much time and consideration into planning this date, and he's like some stupid selfie shit. That's a red flag immediately for me. I decided after my ex-husband, I was not going to let any man make me feel like shit. So from the get-go, that's a red flag. Goodbye, Zach. But that doesn't mean that she's going to stop, exploring her sexuality to see what she's into. So when she does find that right man, she'll be ready. So this episode, she was exploring shibari. And I feel like I'm having deja vu because I talked about shibari in one of my Love After Lockup recaps. One of the couples on Love After Lockup, Will and Courtney, they were into shibari, which I found highly ironic considering Courtney just spent the year in handcuffs in prison. You know, that she would be into being tied up in the bedroom. But that's a whole nother show, whole nother network. I'm getting distracted. So shibari is a Japanese term meaning literally to tie up. Okay, so basically, in Japanese culture, shibari is associated with aesthetics, precision, and dis- discipline. That's what I'm trying to say. It can also be seen as a form of mediation, promoting trust and intimacy between partners. I guess when one partner's tied up, you have to trust your partner. So, Rasha goes to this place, okay? And let me tell you, she had the time of her life to this kink club, okay? I forgot the dude's name. I want to say Wildflower, but I know that's wrong. But there's this dude, okay, that basically runs the club, sets up the activities, and he tied up Rasha. No, wait, first, I'm getting ahead of myself. First, Rasha was looking around the room and she saw some of the accessories. And she was like, "Ooh, what's that?" So the dude was like, "It's a flock. Would you like me to spank you with it?" And she was like, "Sure." So she turns around, and first he's doing it very softly, but then it's getting harder and harder, and she is liking it. She's into that. Okay. Then this is where he ties her up and suspends her from the ceiling, and she is squealing in the light. I personally think that she may have been on the brink of the big O up there. The way that she was squealing and she was so happy. But let me tell you, she loved being tied up and suspended from that ceiling. I don't know if the tying up and being suspended thing is for me, but hey, Rasha, whatever your kink is, go for it, girl. Okay. Now she says after this experience, her loins are on fire. She really needs to set out the fire. Okay. Big purr. That's what she calls her private parts, by the way. Big purr. It needs to be purred. Okay. It needs to be petted. So she needs to find her man. And I really hope by the end of the season she does. But it's only episode 3. So Virgins airs on Monday nights after Hunt for Love and before In Between the Sheets for Hunt for Love on TLC at 9 o'clock East Coast time and the next day on Max. So that's basically it. Thank you, everybody, for watching me. Stay cool. See you next time.